Radio 8. Here it comes!
Hey, run that thing up.
Radio 8.
Welcome back to another episode of the Grade A Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Musa. I got my guy Ty here with me. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Obviously, we had Slammiversary this past weekend. I got some questions. I had to sleep on some decisions they made, and I think I got to change the heart for some of the things. But if you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, let us know your thoughts on the show and your thoughts on the recap of Slammiversary, Monday Night Raw last night, and some of your predictions for tonight's show for NXT. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's start with TNA. We had Slammiversary. So we had the countdown to Slammiversary. We had the matches with the TNA Knockouts tag team match with the Elegance brand and Inspiration. We don't got to spend too much time on that match, but the Elegance brand retained the titles against the Inspiration. It seems like they're going to have a 6-woman tag match this upcoming Thursday, tomorrow. So what was your thoughts on that match?
I'm kind of low-key surprised they didn't give the Inspiration the belts just because of, we've been watching TNA for a while. We know TNA has this TNA booking. To me, I thought that was an obvious TNA booking that they would have did there and have the Inspiration go over. But I think, to be honest, kind of at the beginning part of this storyline towards the middle, it's going to go on for a while. So I do expect it to end with the Inspiration taking the titles off. But it was a fine pre-show match. Nothing to say more, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the stats that they talked about going into the match was since the Elegance brand won the Knockouts titles, they haven't lost a tag match. Now they're 6-0, considering they just retained the belt this past weekend. So that was something when I realized that, I was like, yeah, the Inspiration's probably not going to win, especially if it's on the countdown. To your point, I believe whenever they do pull the trigger and give the Inspiration the Knockouts titles, it's going to be one of the major cards, potentially a Bound for Glory, depending if they can stretch out the feud till October. But I thought it was a pretty solid match. It was a good match to have on the countdown, the pre-show, if you'll call it. And they were sold out in Long Island, so in New York this past weekend. So I love the attendance. I love everything they did for Slammiversary. I wish they bring back the King of the Mountain match. Us old TNA fans, we definitely would love that match. I don't suggest bringing back the 6-sided ring, because if you know the history about that ring is not safe for anyone when it comes to taking bumps. But yeah, all in all, solid match. We did have an impromptu match with Eric Young in the Northern Armory. Now, I would be lying if I sit here and tell you guys I am familiar with Northern Armory. So I was surprised about this dude with a mask coming out with the hockey jersey on, the Islanders, I believe it is. I was thrown off by that, but it was nice to see Eric Young back on TV.
Shit, I was thrown off by Eric Young on TV. I thought he was still in NXT doing something in the background, bro. I thought he was a producer. Oh my god!
It's like all the old GTNA guys do. They become producers for WWE, like Petey Williams and Abyss.
Dude,
I think Gail Kim is going to be working with the women's division too in WWE. So
honestly, Eric Young probably would have made the Wyatt sick a little better, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, we could definitely go into that a little bit if you want, but I'm not mad at that at all. He doesn't even have to be attacked. He could be like a solo
He's
guy
just,
in
he's
that group.
just that guy. That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah,
can just sell you, and
and
especially being
that
that vet. I'm saying, I don't know.
and the group that the faction he has now. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Northern Armory. The Hometown Man is the guy's name. I was reading it wrong. The Northern Armory, his faction, kind of gives those little hints of not Y6, but I'm forgetting the group he had in NXT
Yeah,
with
Decay. Was
him.
it Decay?
No, that wasn't. It wasn't Decay. I can't
No,
remember
it
the
wasn't
name.
Decay. It was I know exactly him, Killian Dane, Nikki Cross, Alexander
Yeah,
Wolf. Yeah, that was the greatest NXT faction.
that never won a
Minus
title, probably.
minus Undisputed Era, obviously, but that was
Yeah,
the greatest
I thought
NXT
Killian.
faction.
I thought Killian was going to get a major push. The way, especially how he performed in that ladder match. But
Bro, what?
we don't want to get too sidetracked. But
Yeah, about to bring me down memory lane, bro.
I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, that impromptu match was good. It was to kill time, obviously, to get all the fans excited for the main card matches. And then we had one more match before on the countdown, and that was Real One, which for those who don't know, Enzo Amore. You had Josh Bishop, who looks like a 2025 version of Sid, literally. And my guy, our guy, I texted you guys like, yo, he's making his debut, even though it's on the countdown.
I was
Zilla
watching it.
Fought 2 was in his first TNA match in a 6-man match against some TNA originals, so to speak. Jake Something, Mance Warner, and the TNA International Champion Steve Macklin. Half of this match was spent with Real One Enzo Amore cutting a promo on stage, introducing the fans to everyone in Fourth Hope, which is a new wrestling promotion sponsored by I'm forgetting his name.
West Side Gun.
Westside Gun. Yes, thank you. And Zilla Fought 2 and Josh Bishop. So that's what half the match was, a promo of him introducing the new stars to the fans. So the match was really, really short, so they had to get their spots in really quickly. But the Fourth Hope, the new wrestling promotion, got the win over the TNA Originals. What was your thoughts on this match?
I'm kind of mad it wasn't on the main card, to be honest. I feel like when you think of TNA and especially where they're at right now, it's all about new opportunities and new everything. And if you're really gonna sell this whole, like the real one said, Forbidden Door, blah blah blah, this is the real Forbidden Door. Like I feel like they at least could have been on the main card. Um Especially if you was just gonna have them rush everything like you said. Like
Yeah,
why you gotta rush on the pre-show?
I want to say to your point, the match was probably a 7-8 minute match because the show started at 8. I'm checking the time as he's cutting the promo for like 5 minutes. I'm like, it's not. It's 7:55, 7:52. When are they gonna start the match? So to your point, yeah, I feel like they could have got more time.
Like if if we already knew we was giving him like you said, a 6-7 minute promo, why did we need that impromptu match literally before it at that point? You could have just kept the two matches on the pre-show, called it a day. You feel me? So that everyone could have enough time to do whatever and this and that. But I will say I like the presentation of Fourth Rope, because I only see it on, like, through Instagram, through Twitter. I just see
Same.
all these clips and stuff, and because they mostly do just live stuff, and you never notice. I knew Zilla was heavyweight champion, and Westside Gun's smart because especially with this whole bloodline talk,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna bring eyes to your promotion automatically. So that's a smart guy right there. But yeah, I thought the match was okay for what it was. Like you said, 7-8 minutes. What are they really gonna do? But I think I would have just put them on the main card, just to give them that look, and that good thing. pretty much.
Do you believe we get a invasion? Kind of. I highly doubt it, but I will still
We're
hear
gonna
your thought.
we're gonna talk about that later.
An invasion with the fourth hope.
No, I don't think so. I think this was more so like I think yeah. Eventually, you're gonna see them because TNA will book anybody. First of all, so
Especially once they until they get that TV deal, because they're working on getting that big TV deal.
so you'll see them, but invasion, no, because I do think an invasion's gonna happen, but not with
So
them.
hear me out. When I invasion, where I was going with the question was when I invasion. So you have the fourth hope, the promotion, Zilla, Real One, Bishop, Jake Bishop, the forefront of that. Unless there's some other names, and I'm not too familiar with the promotion. So it's all those who's watching. If you're more familiar with the promotion, if there's other names I might be missing, that's like the forefront of the new promotion. Imagine those guys invading TNA slash NXT. What I mean by NXT is like the NXT stars are doing appearances on TNA. So now you can have like a little merge, and now you have the perfect reason to have William Regal come back out and say War Games. Or you don't have to do War Games. It could be Lockdown on a TNA show. So I think it'll be a nice little storyline they can tell. Will they do it? I highly doubt it. But
Yeah, if TNA was still ran by real TNA, you would have had that.
like Scott
That
Demore,
that would have been your bound for glory. You feel me? The problem is now we see this WWE influence clearly they're booking together, obviously. So the problem is, and especially when AAA got bought out, certain people WWE will like on the screen, certain people they won't. I think they would love to have Zilla and Josh Bishop's good. But do they really
Josh,
want to bring back Enzo?
they're not bringing
Probably
Enzo
not.
back. Not after
Then
too much. Well, I
is
can't say that because they brought
because you never know. You never know.
they brought
But
CM Punk back. I mean, granted, CM Punk. I'm not
that
comparing
wasn't
them.
his fault though.
I was about to say I'm not comparing CM Punk and Enzo as the superstars. I'm just comparing the scenario like it was a lot of bad blood and water had to go underneath the bridge type of thing. So
Yeah, so I think more so they won't do that because especially if Zilla's the world champion, he's going to be the face.
and he has to get booked properly in this
Then he has to
invasion
get
angle.
booked properly. And why would WWE, to be completely honest, put him on the screen and not acknowledge Bloodline, not acknowledge anything else? Because like
That could be
TNA
an angle
acknowledged
though.
it.
That could be the angle. The biggest match, kind of like they did. 'Cause you know WWE is gonna have to win this angle regardless. If you, especially if people was around when they did
First,
the first original invasion angle, you
they've
could
been
have a
winning.
turn.
They've been winning a lot. So do they really
Of
need to
course,
win this one?
listen. To your point though, I think Triple H could bring back Enzo if it was best for business. One thing I will say Triple H will do if you're hot on the indie scene and it's best for business and it's good for the marketing, he will be willing to put water under the bridge and sign you if it makes sense. So right now, I don't think it makes sense with Enzo, but it's the future. There's still plenty of future ahead of us. Fernando, what up, man? Glad for you to join. Appreciate you commenting, always being here every week on any show we do, whether it's the Grade A Wrestling, Pick Six, or the Grade A Show. So Fernando also said booking NXT to win both the men and women's TNA World titles on a TNA pay-per-view was horrible.
We're
We're
gonna talk
actually going
about
to
that.
get into that. We're
We're
going
gonna
to get
talk
into that
about
in just a moment. So stay tuned. Keep watching. So the next thing we're going to get into is the main card, the actual Slammiversary card. And they start off the show with a banger. But when I say these two guys' names, if you know their history, they always put on bangers and classics. Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali to open up the show. The ending was chef's kiss, in my opinion. This was the perfect way to start the show and keep the fans engaged with Mustafa Ali winning the match, finally getting a victory over Cedric Alexander. his first one since they've been feuding. Ty, what was your thoughts on the match?
Perfect. It was literally perfect. Like I said in the chat, they can go in the ring, and they got that chemistry. I knew it was gonna be perfect. All that mattered was how you gonna finish this. How you gonna finish this match? And like you said, I thought the ending was perfect. I thought it was perfect. That's literally classic booking, classic good booking. And to be honest, yeah, it doesn't hurt Cedric Alexander. Yeah, he technically just debuted. Yeah, I understand. But who debuted before him? Mustafa Ali. So we gotta get this booking right, especially. And I feel like Mustafa Ali has more to offer right now, just based off gimmick and just based off what we've seen so far. So I
Former
really
X Division champion.
Exactly. So I really want them to get behind Mustafa Ali and really push him because we know he's great.
And then
And
having Tasha Steelz in his corner and the rest of the faction.
yeah, the faction's perfect. First of all,
I
they
want to give him his credit. He's been tremendous since he left WWE. And it sucks because a lot of times we've seen the scenario. A lot of times these athletes have to leave the WWE just to finally get the push and the character development they need. And sometimes you don't get that character development in WWE because there's so many mouths to feed. You're not getting
yeah,
enough
no,
TV
but
time. You're not fully developing them. So I'm happy that Mustafa's taking advantage
I'll
of it.
ask you this right now: do you really see a big difference between his gimmick right now and what he was willing to offer around Retribution time and before Retribution? Because to me, this is the same person. This is just given an opportunity. I feel like WWE gave him a bad hand with Retribution. They had pretty much the script, but the delivery was terrible and it did nothing. They look like jobbers in 2 weeks. It did nothing. Now, when you have TNA doing it with a faction, now the faction doesn't look like jobbers in 2 weeks. And this guy actually looks good. And now he got a win on a pay-per-view. Okay. You just sold me.
Hey man, shout out to T-Bar. Shout out to T-Bar. Retribution for
Nah,
life.
he blocked me on Twitter. I don't like him. I don't like him.
But to your point in your question, I will say I believe I believe there's a little bit of difference in the character work because it took him having to deal with that to kind of grow. But your overall message, I believe, still stands where he just needed a consistent opportunity to put the character to light and watch it grow, plant the seeds. And to see what he was able to do with his character in TNA, I believe he could have done that in WWE. And I think it would have been much more successful in WWE, especially with the Retribution gimmick, because during that time in the pandemic, this could have been really, really useful. And you could have gave him, you didn't have to put him in the main title picture. You could have gave him the mid card and let him run the mid card, and it'd have been perfect. But again, decisions creative felt otherwise. And remember, too, to your point, he was supposed to win that Money in the Bank until Brock showed up. But we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole, man. But yeah, all in all, great opener to the show. Cedric Alexander playing back that lumbar check on Tasha Steelz reminded me what he did to Candice LeRae.
Yeah, it ain't touch Candice LeRae because that Candice LeRae one will forever be the craziest thing
It's
you
S
ever
tier.
see.
It's goaded.
I recommend anyone watching. You like wrestling and you know somebody that don't like wrestling, pull up that video, be like, yo, let me show you something.
Just type in Cedric Alexander lumbar check. I promise you, one of the first few videos that comes up in the search is him doing that to Candice LeRae and how she almost flew out the ring. And the backstory on that is so funny because he talks about it, and she was willing to do the move. A lot of people, he got a couple death threats and stuff like that. He said because of him doing that to a woman, of course, but she was all for it, and obviously it was successful nonetheless. So we're gonna move right along to the next match. we had the I would say the 4-way, the 8-man tag match with the System and Matt Cardona, Long Island Zone, Matt Cardona, I might add, versus NXT's Dark State. I will go real quickly. This match was solid for what it was. It had some good spots, but this probably was one of the weaker matches on the card. And again, when I say weaker matches, it's not because it was terrible, but obviously if you had to rank the card and the matches, this will probably be lower to the bottom end. But I thought it was a solid match. I think something about Dark State, it's the gimmick for me. It's just not appealing to me because it just reminds me so much of the Shield, and it's so watered down, and I can't get behind it. Like I'm not a believer in their characters yet. Like, I'm still trying to figure out who is this person, who is that person, as far as what you bring to the table. Like with the Shield, you didn't know who they were yet, but when you started to give them some rope, okay, this is who Roman Reigns is, what he brings to the table. This is who Seth is, Dean is, or John Moxley for those who watch AEW. With this group, I'm still waiting to really sink my teeth into their characters for me to really invest into Dark State. But I'm into Fernando's comment. I'm not really feeling them either. Something's off there, and I think this was a good match for them to get more reps in. But all in all, man, I need more from this group. And I think if they're gonna do this, if they are, because we've been speculating this for weeks now, maybe a month. If they're gonna add Trick Williams to this group, they need to hurry up and pull the trigger now. Because I think adding Trick into this group, especially with how his heel trajectory is going now, will be perfect for this group. And it might give him a little bit more of an identity as far as personal character work. So, but that's just my spill on them. Ty, I'll let you go ahead and take away. What was your thoughts on the match?
Well, I'm gonna say this: the Shield ain't eating no pins in TNA. I'm telling you that.
That's a fact. Believe that.
So and it's funny that I'm glad you brought up that last point, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, we've been speculating since they debut how this was a smart way that this is somehow gonna get involved with the NXT World Title. We're gonna get someone to be revealed as the leader. We're gonna get like this big thing that's really gonna make us take them serious. Nah, I just honestly, I just feel like they created this faction so TNA could finally get a win. I don't know. That was just me. Like I do not
the same
care.
thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really thought the same thing.
I do not care. I didn't care 2-3 weeks ago. Now I definitely don't care. This is nothing. And I think if you pulled the trigger on a Trick Williams right now, I'm gonna disagree with you. I think it kind of hurts Trick Williams right now.
Well, yeah, okay. Say more. Why do you think it will hurt him?
Because if you've been technically terrorizing this company because you're their world champion and you've been doing this dolo, why are you taking these bums with you? Like, I think it would be more better like if he was to like pop up with the System or something.
Yeah,
let's switch it up. Let's go crazy with it.
Considering,
But nah, I'm not giving him Dark State. Nah. I'd rather him go get someone from TNA to be with him at that.
that's a fair point considering where the storyline is going and considering Moose's kind of post about him taking some time back, reflecting after taking a loss to Leon Slater. That might be a good idea, but we'll see on that. But I don't know. Oh, that was another thing I was going to say to add to your point. What makes this loss even worse for them is a person who I see the most potential in as far as the mic work and who pops out to me in the group is the one who took the pin in Sugars. Like when I seen that, I was like, oh, he's the last person I need to take the pin. Like he should have never taken that pin. It could have been any any one of them else. The other guy with the locks, I can't remember his name. The hairy guy.
Bro, they probably just picked a random name out the hat to
He
take
could
that
have. He could have took.
picture.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah,
I like
even
this.
better. Even better.
We're gonna get to that ladder match because it was one of those spots I was praying for that man, Francis. But we're gonna talk about that in a moment. In fact, we're gonna get into the next match because we spent enough time on this match. The next match, my favorite match of the night, personally, man. Oh, never mind. Wrong one. I'm scrolling through those sites. This is not the match I was talking about. But I know we won't spend too much time on this because Ty loves this match and this woman.
Oh my God, bro.
Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell. I'll let you do the honors first because I know you will keep this very short and sweet.
Y'all really watched this match? Because
I actually did watch the match. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, I watched the match too. I will say the only good thing to come out of this was I would say Tessa Blanchard is suspended. So hopefully she turns up on NXT, so I don't have to watch NXT. So that's all I gotta say.
What is your takeaway?
I love
Indy Hartwell in the match?
I love Indy Hartwell, so I'm cool with it. But
okay,
I think Indy Hartwell
mhm.
now, especially after seeing this whole JC Jane thing, I think Indy Hartwell should take the belt off of JC Jane. That's just me.
I'm not gonna let you live. I'm not gonna let you die on that hill just yet.
But
we're gonna get to that match because
if we give it back to
I'm
Masha,
I'm on a completely
why do we?
flip it.
You know, I'm just saying we're gonna come back to it.
I'm on a completely different thought process with that. I will say this, being very unbiased, Tessa can still go in the ring. That's no surprise. She's a great storyteller in the ring. Well, let me not say great. She's a good storyteller in the ring. She can control the match for if it's someone that's lesser than her in the match. So I won't give her credit there. I know what she done in the past. I ain't excluding that, but I'm sticking strictly to the wrestling part. I think this was a solid match. I want to see them go at it again, and it seems like they will. And I think it'll be a stipulation should be added because there's a lot left on this story that could be told. And I think I think Tessa's gonna be able to elevate Indy because the way you feel about Indy Hartwell, I'm not there yet. Her character is still very green to me. Like that little thumbs up stuff, it cringes me. It makes me cringe.
I've seen worse hold the TNA title.
We can go down that rabbit hole. Trust me.
I'm just saying who they can build up to take the most from this. I would pick her, but you know,
I am not disagreeing with that. But what I will say is, as it pertains to Indy, I think her having this feud with Tessa Blanchard is going to help potentially push her to that main top of the women's division because I think this feud is going to bring out more the aggressive side of Indy, something that she didn't show in WWE when she did have the opportunities, and something that she still hasn't shown on the indie side, no pun intended. Especially since she's with TNA, and I think that's what's lacking for me because she can go in the ring. She doesn't have to be the high flyer type because she's kind of fairly tall for a woman.
Yeah, and
when it comes to wrestling per se, but I think she just at times looks a little stiff, looks a little lost, and the character is not. The development still needs to be there, and I think her going to TNA at the time that she's in TNA now is the perfect way to slow cook her and slowly build her to become that Impact Women's Champion. So I don't disagree with you as far as the long term, but I think there's still a ways for her to go. But all in all, yeah, it's a great match. I want to say I can't remember the announcer's name because it's my first time tuning into the countdown. She did a decent job selling those stair spots with Tessa attacking her. And I'm putting that mildly. But yeah, I love everything they're doing with the Tessa Indy feud. Indy Hartwell does have a lot of potential. I like the potential. The potential's there. She's a good face. So for the kids to look up to. So I think that's her being the face will be perfect. It's kind of like what we wanted with Cody and Jay going into Mania. Show more of that aggression as the face, and that was looking like a soft ass. Yeah, I won't say no more swears. But anyway, Fernando also had a comment. Indy is a younger, taller. Bailey. I don't. Character wise, I can see where you're going with that. Sure, I'm not mad at that. Moving along, Ty. Now we can finally. No, wait. I forgot the match order. Hold on. Yeah, I'm a match. Um ahead. So we're gonna get into the title versus title match. JC Jane, Masha Slamovich. What was your thoughts on this match? Because I had some initial thoughts, but I kind of slept on it, and my thoughts kind of changed a little bit.
It was a good match.
This is probably JC's best singles match.
Yeah. Might be. like that was a good match. And I think the reason why I had the reaction at the end, I think, is because it was such a good match. For it to end like that, I don't like. I just don't see the need. I didn't see the need to book this match. And I didn't see the need for NXT, especially JC Jane, to hold both titles. To me, that's disrespectful. To me, that's disrespectful because why couldn't you
no disrespect to JC, but it's like.
But yeah, no disrespect to her, but just like you could have booked this with anyone else. Could have booked this with Blake Monroe. Could have booked it with even Jordan Grace. But JC Jane, nah. I just can't. And like, I know TNA is going for the whole, TV deal and all that. So of course, NXT got all these viewers, so you're gonna want to do that. But no. I didn't like the decision. The match was good. It was fine, but that decision is just terrible. Like that makes I want to hear your point because I just want to see how someone can convince me this is a good point. Because what you're trying to do, you're already doing with their world title.
Literally.
So what's the point of literally just grabbing this women's title and putting it on NXT? To me, that makes zero sense.
Literally. So I guess I'll chime in from this point. I'll start off with the reason why I kind of turned the leaf and kind of understood it. Although I still don't like it and agree with it, I can understand it. But and that's from the business side of things. They're trying to close in on a potential TV deal that can land more viewers on the product. You're in the business with WWE and NXT. You put the bet on JC. You put it because everyone loves to see the face chase the bad guy. Everyone likes to see the good guy win when it comes to storylines in wrestling. So put it on the bad guy, kind of like what you did already with Trick, and let them run with it and see what you can do with it. My problem is JC the girl to do it? We might be underestimating her, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Shut me up. But I haven't seen anything from her yet to make me believe that she is that legitimate girl to take that title to the next level. For example, even though they have given her some good competition, legit stars, and she went over Stephanie Valkyrie, Jordan Grace, now Masha. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know if she's the one. And this is coming from someone who I think a few episodes back, I said JC Jane has all the tools to be a great superstar because she can talk on the mic. She's not a bad wrestler. So this is not me being a hater or anything. So people that might watch, this is me being objective. I believe at this past weekend, this was perfect for Masha to win both belts. The problem is, I don't know if WWE creative will want to see a TNA star with the NXT Championship, and that's the issue. Now, from a business point, though, yes, you're gonna draw more eyes to the TNA because they're gonna want to see those NXT stars who is putting and elevating these titles based on their name brand and where they're coming from to the other platforms, sure. But you're also taking a hit with some of these NXT stars because, like, now what's next for Masha? Is it going to be a rematch? If she gets the rematch, is she going to actually get the win? No, because we got Blake Monroe on the rise. Killer Kelly's still around and in Impact now that she's back. So many other names. You mentioned Indy Hartwell. I mean, Tessa's going to be in the picture at some point. And then you still have Jordan around. So again, it's tough. I didn't really like the decision. The ending could have been a little better, but I'm not mad with how the ending of the match went. I think this was JC's best match. I think there's room for her to grow. I think she's going to be even better in the ring as she continues. But I really want to see what they tell the story with her and Fatal Influence, because there's some ripplings going on slowly but surely. Because to me, I like Jasmine Ninks a lot. I think she needs more reps in the ring. She has the look. She's athletic as hell. Like, she can go in the ring. And then Fallon Henley, that's a 2025 from a physical look. That's the 2025 Mickey James. From the look, I ain't talking about the ring ability. And that's not, she ain't Mickey in the ring. So I want to make sure that's very clear. But from a look, she has the look. So, and Todd, I know it's hard to convince you, but maybe from their eyes, they're looking at, well, we had the biggest and the deepest women's division. Why not push that narrative on to JC and let her carry those belts for how many days they may need it to do until Bound for Glory potentially. So I don't know. That's just my takeaway. But I was like you, man. I was not happy with that decision at all. Fernando says TNA has to get more out of this partnership than just extra views. I think the biggest thing they're gonna get is a TV deal. And I think once that happens, things may slowly trickle back to normal. But then again, it's WWE, they can get greedy. So, and Fernando also mentioned, he said he's not liking this partnership at all. I don't disagree at all. So we're gonna move right along to the match that I've been waiting to talk about, but I'm gonna let Ty give his thoughts. The match of the night to me, that's the X Division title. Leon Slater versus Moose. It was records on top of records in this match. If Moose retained, he would have became the longest not NXT X Division champion in TNA history. And now Leon Slater being the winner, he is now the youngest TNA X Division champion in their history. But his wife, his girlfriend, his mother, his sister was in the crowd. They flew from London to watch him wrestle, and it was a beautiful moment to see. But I'm now a Leon Slater fan. He's gonna be a future world champion in TNA at some point, or in another company if he doesn't stay in TNA and he goes to another company. But he has all the tools. His entrance was kind of long, but that spot on his entrance where he had the purple light on him, that like he's gonna be a moneymaker, and he could wow the crowd. Moose can still go in the ring. So I love everything about this match, especially the aftermath, which we'll talk about afterwards. But what was your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this was no doubtably probably the best match of the night. Um, Moose, Moose put Leon over, and he did it in a good way. Like, even if this was your first time watching TNA in a while, and you didn't know who this was, now you like Leon Slater. And it's so funny how like side characters in WWE, like I'm not gonna call them side characters, but WWE treats these wrestlers like side characters. Then they're given this opportunity and they just make the most out of it. And he's pretty much the prime example because if you don't forget, that's a former North American champion right there. So are we really surprised? Right?
That's not him.
Oh, I thought that was him this whole time. That is
Nah,
crazy.
nah. I know you're thinking about.
That is
He a
crazy.
lot skinnier than Leon.
I was about to say, yo, I thought he bulked up, got crazy. I was like, oh
Nah.
nah, he
He
got
little. He
crazy.
like my complexion. I know I look a
Nah.
little light. That's the ring
Alright.
camera. But
But regardless, Leon Slater's fire. All right. That's literally TNA's Javon Evans. Literally.
speaking of Javon Evans,
Literally.
I don't think we gotta wait till Future Mania. I think they can have this on an NXT or TNA show.
First of all, they might have it at Bound for Glory the way WWE's booking TNA.
I just need Javon not to win. That's all. I love Javon, but I need Leon to keep that belt.
But nah, it was a good match. Yeah, I like pretty much that. It was perfect. You know that TNA was in their bag. Everyone was in their bag at that point. I thought that pretty much set me in a better mood from that women's whatever happened after that women's match.
Yeah,
So I liked it, to be honest.
I will say their placement of the order of the match card was perfect because, to your point, to have our feeling the way we felt and to how some of the crowd people in the crowd felt for how Marsha lost, to then bounce back with this match and then have AJ Styles come out at the end and kind of stamp Leon and kind of have his moment, and they gave him his old theme song, which is like perfect. I would have been mad as
He
hell if
doesn't
they gave him
he
the
doesn't even
WWE theme
like
song.
that song, which is crazy.
I know. But I thought it was a perfect match. The ending was beautiful. The storytelling in that match, the whole Davidson Goliath, the bigger man versus the high flyer, everything about this match was screamed TNA at its peak. And if you haven't been, like you said, like Ty said, if you're not a fan of TNA, you haven't watched TNA, and you want to watch something that's relevant, go watch the Leon Slater versus Moose for the X Division title match. And you'll see why people are so high on TNA and why people love wrestling. Because that's a match you need, anyone that don't watch wrestling needs to watch and show why there's so many fans involved in wrestling. So, and I thought it was a beautiful moment how excited Leon was when he heard AJ's music hit, because he didn't know that was going to be a spot after the match. But yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I started being more familiar with him when he had that spot in the X Division match in Ultimate X, where he didn't get caught on one of those spots, which was nasty. But after that, man, I'm hooked. I've seen everything I need to see, and I want to see more. He's gonna be one of the reasons why I tune in more to TNA on Thursdays. It's for him and many others. But what do you believe is next for Moose? Because I believe he said he's gonna take some time away, get healthy, and things like that. So what's next for Moose when he returns, if he returns, or is this the time when he goes to WWE and make that jump?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. That dude is about to sit out this contract and see you in WWE.
I also believe he has one of the most coldest entrances in the game today. Moose and all the crowd all doing Moose. Like that entrance is fire. That on a WrestleMania stage will go crazy. But I'm just tired of seeing that. If I see one more person do a goddamn spear, the spear's starting to turn into the super kick for me. Everybody does it. But yeah. Anything you wanted to add?
I mean that's if you're gonna do a spare, just do it good, bro. Every wrestling fan knows there's a spare grade and sheet. All right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We all know who got the worst spare. We're not gonna say names unless we
Do
want to
we?
say names.
Do we?
All right, so we know who got the worst spear. We know
I don't know.
we know who's in the middle. Like their spear's okay, it's not good, and we know who got the best spear.
Goldberg in his prime.
In his prime, yeah.
Prime Goldberg spear is top tier. Him and Bronze is probably the two best ones. Oh, wait, let me not disrespect. He didn't call it a spear, but shout out to my guy Rhino because the gore was nasty.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Gore, yo, that was nasty. So, yeah. Jay Spears trash. Hey man.
And you know what's crazy? It's not too far from his cousin's spear. So
He also said Moose needs to talk quicker on the mic and WWE.
Nah, I'll give Moose a manager.
I will say that's not a bad
to start with, at least.
Take, but it also depends on what the story he's telling. Like sometimes you don't need to be so fast paced on the mic, depending on the story you're telling with whoever it is that you're in the program with. Sometimes you might need to. It all depends. So I'm not opposed to that though. Moving right along though. Next match. One of my favorite matches. I'll say this match had the best ending I had ever in a ladder match I have seen, as far as from creativity wise.
Well, yeah, I'm about to stop you.
I'm gonna say creativity. We had the 4-way ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. We had First Class, the Hardys, the Namaths, and the Rascals. Really quickly, there was some injuries that led into this match, so we had some substitutions. So Myron Reed stepped into place and joined Zachary Wentz for the Rascals. And actually, he was the only injury replacement. But nonetheless, great match. What was your thoughts on the match overall?
Yeah, great match. I'm never gonna hate a ladder match. But oh my god, I just want to say this one thing, bro. Like AJ Francis, bro. Come on, bro. Like,
yo, that I was hurting when I seen
he
that
almost
live.
died twice. Like, come on.
The moonsault was good, although he was inches away from clipping his feet on them ropes.
I'm like, yo, bro, like I get it because of course, bro, if you're in the ring, you're this big competitor, you don't want to do this basic stuff, bro. You want to do all this nice stuff, but bro jumped off a ladder and tried to jump into a ladder. That is
I don't think he really meant
like he was not prepared to take that bump. Why is he taking that bump? For everyone that is in that match, why is he taking that bump? Like, I get it, but come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yo,
like,
no, I'm sorry, but
I'd rather than Jeff Hardy still swanton bombing table. First of all, he did it twice.
I was about to get to that. I was about to say,
He
if the
did
ladder
it.
don't break once, don't try it again.
Oh my god. It was a couple botches, but overall I liked it. I did not like the ending. Not for creativity ways. I just didn't like the ending because of who's holding the belts and what we're getting after that match.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that because that match ain't for another 2 months if they accept. But I will say that spot with AJ with First Class was beautiful, but it was funny because I legit grimaced because I thought he broke his ankle or something. The way and it's like when I seen them as I was pushing the ladder, I'm looking at the spot. I'm looking at the measurements. I'm like, yo, they might be a little too off on this. I don't know if he's gonna make it. And
yeah, he's not the one to flip into the spot.
And then my thing is too is shout out because he lost a lot of weight. He's been putting in that work, so I want to give him his praise for that. Because not a lot of big men that could do what he do in that ring, especially in a stipulation like this. That moonsault spot was crazy and it was beautiful. But just because he did the moonsault does not mean he can still contort his body in a way in that quick of a manner and time to land on the ladder to not what he doesn't hurt himself. Thank God he didn't hurt himself. But that spot was crazy. And it could have got bad. But that match was really solid. The Swanton bomb on the lads with the setup on the stairs was nice. Did I need to see it twice? No, but they were trying to break the ladder. But I guess I can agree with you with how the ending went. I thought the Nameless was going to keep the belts, but remember, once I had to remember and tell myself they did say if they don't win the match, they probably could retire. Once they said that, it was a kind of a given that they wasn't losing this ladder match. Now, to the main part that you said, and to Fernando's comment, do we need a Hardy Boys and a Dudley Boys match in 2025? We do not. I don't need it. I thought he was about to say the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. But I was about to say, what? Since when? But
First of all, if you gonna tease a match, can Devon be there?
that was my next part. Yes. Shout out to Devon too, because I actually read that he lost over 75 pounds working with DDP. Because I was also thinking in my head too. I was like, wait, Devon coming out on retirement to wrestle? I thought he said he was done. Like, and I know he was dealing with the weight situation, but I found out he's been working with DDP. So once I found that out, I was like, oh, then yeah, this is a no-brainer. If he's gonna do anything, it's gonna be this one last match. And I think his boys are probably in wrestling now too. But yeah, I don't want to see the match, but I'm not mad at it considering we're in that day and age where all the people we grew up watching are older and they're starting to phase out in a new usher in a new era.
Nah,
And
bro.
we're in the era where you want to send them on the right way because they did the same thing to the older era when we was watching our favorites growing up. But for this match particularly, because we're gonna get it at Bound for Glory, and I'm okay with that. It has to be a table match. It has to be.
Oh, so you okay?
I cannot sit and watch them
Okay.
in a regular stipulation match. There has to be a table match. Hell, they're not gonna do this because it's supposed to be one of the final match. That's the whole story. Add another tag team, make it a TLC match. I don't care. But based on what they're telling and what Bubba Ray said in that ring after the ladder match, this will be their last match in the ring between the Hardys and the Dudleys. So it has to be a table match for me. Do they need the tag belts? No, they don't, because you already sold us on the storyline one last time. That sells itself. If you've been a wrestling fan and you grew up in the early 2000s, you hear Dudley Boys and the Hardys, there's nothing else you need to be sold on. There's nothing else. You know what's coming with those matches. So I don't think they need the belts for that. I think they can lose the belts in a rematch with the Nameless. The Nameless could probably go, hey, this was a unfair match. We had to defend our tag titles in a non-regular tag match against 3 tag teams. We want a rematch, yada yada, and get the belts back. Easy. But again, interested me to see what they do in TNA now, because I kind of want to see, are they going to put the belts on the line with this last match, or will they not have the belts? So Fernando says Metal Mayhem match. That's not a bad idea either. The thing is, you got Jeff Hardy in there, so you know he's going to do some crazy spot if he can.
How about a retirement home match? I just can't. I don't know, bro.
Hey,
like it's bro. Watching the Hardys, to me, bro, it's like watching Paul Pierce on the Clippers. That shit broke my heart.
It
breaks my heart, bro.
It can't be that bad, bro, because Jeff looks at least a little decent. A little. Matt,
yeah, because he can still flip.
Yeah, Matt looks. Yeah, you can see Matt.
Matt
is over the part where.
But how long it took him to get back up and go do that spot again?
Yeah, it's almost
took a little while, bro. So imagine they got a tables match and the table don't break. extra 7 minutes, bro.
A hospice match is quiet. Nah, bro. Y'all gotta chill. Don't do my guys like that. A hospice match is crazy. But yeah, like I said, like we said, if it's gonna happen. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
It
but
has to- it
I
gotta
don't
be
think
taken out.
a Dudley's versus Hardy's sells me as much if there's no, like you said, Edge and Christian. I don't know, in my personal opinion.
That's a fair point. Fair point, man.
But if we're like, I don't know, I feel like they built it up a different way. Like, if there was like, especially like when the TNA Hall of Fame and stuff, like if there was a tease of like the Dudleys, like don't get me wrong, Bubba Ray's always talking about the Dudleys could have one more match. But I'm like, if they really teased it on TV and they built this up, I think I would have been
Worth
fine with
watching.
it. But
Yeah.
this just looks like, okay, we just put the belts back on the Hardys. We're trying to get that TV deal. We're gonna do the biggest match name pretty much, which is Dudleys and Hardys. But other than that, there's no reason to do this match.
Fair point. Moving right along, man. We're gonna get right into the main event. I'm gonna start off here. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I did not like the ending. However, if when you play into the bad guy gimmick, the ending did make sense considering what type of character Trick is. I'm starting to get into the Trick Williams character, especially when we get into NXT, because that promo he cut last night on Raw was beautiful about Undertaker. That was funny as hell. But I thought the match was solid. The ending, I didn't. As I said, I could have been done a little better, but I could understand the aspect of it considering he's a heel. But man, kind of like with Masha, I feel like this could have been a perfect time to give Mike Santana the win. But from the business aspect, what I mentioned earlier with the women's title, more people know Trick Williams than they know Mike Santana. Unfortunately, so
Nah, I don't believe that, bro. I don't believe that, bro.
hey, WWE from the basic viewer, they would know a Trick Williams before they know Mike Santana. For us who watch the sport,
Nah, because I
we
think
understand.
Trick not being on the main roster, not really, bro. NXT, NXT, don't get me wrong, is still a big,
But
it's still a
he's
big
also been doing a
TV.
lot of outside WWE stuff. Like
Yeah, All American, but
I wouldn't even talk. I forgot about that. But he's out there on URL for battle rap stuff. He's cool with the battle rappers like Chess, Lady Caution. Shout out to those guys. Lady Caution, Chess, Tay Rock, who also came out during First Class's entrance, which I thought was fire. But he's been around, former D1 athlete from South Carolina. So he has the image a little bit outside of the ring. Not so much with Mike.
Well, Mike
but
Santana was part of LAX, so
absolutely, yeah, for sure. But these casual fans, when it comes to WWE,
yeah,
they know more about
if we're
WWE.
basing it off casual fans, yes.
Yeah, and that was my main point. Was like with the casual fan, they will know more about a Trick Williams opposed to a Mike Santana. Us who have a higher standard and level and competency when it comes to the sport, we know who Mike Santana is for sure. But the reason why I bring that up is because I think you can still tell the bad guy story and have Mike have his moment at Bound for Glory. Now, if Mike or even Joe, which I've never been too high on the Joe gimmick, but if Mike doesn't get the belt at Bound for Glory, I'm gonna be upset unless they do one thing and one thing only. They have AJ Styles win the belt, and then he drops it to the next guy to lead the company, and a Mike Santana. Then I'll be okay with that. But
that is what
that's my whole take on that main event match. Fernando said Santana should have won in his hometown. Also, Masha is from Long Island. Is from New York as well. So Santana's more known than Trick. Oh, for sure. I believe that too. But from a casual WWE wrestling fan, because a lot of casual fans only know WWE. They would know Trick before they know Santana. That's all I'm saying. Unfortunately. But Ty, what was your thoughts on the main event? And then we're gonna run down the preview for NXT, and then if there's any bright spots from Raw last night you wanna shed light on, we'll wrap up the show from there.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I actually love the main event, and I actually like the ending because like I said, I told y'all I think Santana should take the belt off a Trick, but once this was a triple threat match, I was like, it's not gonna mean as much, you know. Yeah, he can pin Trick Williams and take the belt, but I'm like, what's the point of having Joe Henry, you know? Like there's no point. Um so I don't know, I like the ending. And I can understand why no one liked it, because especially after just seeing what happened in the women's, everyone's mind, and including mine, was like, oh, TNA's about to get the world title back. Because I didn't expect NXT to hold both world titles at the end of the night. So I thought it was a good ending. I thought it was a great way, and I still think Santana takes the belt off of Trick 1-on-1 Bound for Glory. And if they want to do a stipulation, they can. But I think that 1-on-1 means more.
No DQ. TNA, the system helps him out and takes out Dark State.
All right.
Hey man, I'm just saying. But moving right along, that's going to be it for the TNA Slammiversary side of things. We're going to just touch base real quick on NXT, the preview, which starts in about a little over 30 minutes from now. So, really quickly, Undertaker's supposed to be on the show to confront Trick Williams, which should be interesting. I expect a choke slam out of this segment, of course. Then we also have Blake Monroe making an NXT singles match debut against Ren St. Clair. I expect to win there, but some type of involvement of Jordan Grace. Then we have we're gonna hear from JC Jane after winning the TNA Knockouts champion, and now she's a double champion. And of course, last but not least, we have Obafemi defending his NXT championship against Josh Briggs and Inumara. Yoshi, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. My apologies, brother. But in a triple threat match, and if you know about Obafemi, him in triple threat matches, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It goes together. So, Ty, any predictions on the card for NXT tonight before we touch base on Raw and wrap up the show?
I feel like it's too predictable. I feel like you kind of know who's going over. I think the most interesting thing is technically the JC Jane promo, because we're gonna see what that's gonna lead to. Because Grace and Blake Monroe, they're on some 1-on-1 feud right now. So now JC Jane's holding both titles. What's gonna happen? Is she defending both titles? What she's gonna do? You know, I don't know. It's very interesting to see. Regarding the Undertaker, the fact that you just reminded me, you think we get Undertaker in TNA
No,
appearance?
no. I don't see that at all.
You don't think so?
It would be nice it would be dope to see.
You're telling me, bro?
I don't see it.
Him and Trick keep going back and forth for a couple months, and you're telling me Undertaker just don't pop up, Bound for Glory, deliver a choke slam, and walk out?
That would be fire to see. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't think they will actually allow it to happen. But if it does, I will not be opposed to it.
Well, they got to get something out of this partnership.
Besides, true.
Because AJ Styles is never coming back to TNA.
I wouldn't say never.
Bro looked like he didn't want to be there.
It might have been the theme song, but we'll see about that, man. I will say, as far as the whole JC Jane segment, real quick, Taker versus Obafemi. Oh, please no, please. Oba will break that, man. Taker old, man. Taker got to take a bow. But back to the JC Jane segment. I believe it's gonna go like this. Typically, how NXT women promos go. Fatal Flame's gonna be in the ring. I didn't need my help, kind of insulting her, Jasmine and Fallon Henley. Jada Parker gonna come out. Lash Legend gonna come out. Masha might even show up. If we're lucky, we might get another TNA knockout to show up, like a Killer Kelly or something. The whole NXT women's locker room gonna come out. They're gonna brawl. Ava's gonna come out and make this announcement, and we're gonna find out who's gonna be JC Jane's next opponent for the title
in a battle royale.
That's literally how it's been going. So that's why, if it goes like that, I'm gonna sit there and just be like, "Wow, I could have thought. Who could have thought of that?" But nah, that's all my takes on NXT. Really quickly, is there anything from Raw that you want to touch base on?
The only thing I would say is they're carrying the briefcase. So I'm questioning it. I don't want to say Homeboy's faking his injury, but I don't know, man. They're trying to, I don't know, maybe they're trying to throw us off. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Rollins is gonna be out for months, but I'm telling you, bro, if he cashes in on Punk and Gunther, and we get the whole shock of this, the shock 2.0, pretty much.
The shock of the summer.
That would be some crazy thing.
Hey, I would not be mad at that. Also, to add on to that, they're carrying the briefcase, but they need to act on this fast because it's kind of, they don't have, it's like the snake got cut off the head, right? They don't have a name, and them I'm referring to as Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. They don't have a name. They don't have a leader. And what we talked about last episode, right? It's looking like we're gonna get a Roman and Jay versus a Braun and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam. And with a new faction like this, they can't lose, but they're not gonna win. Roman and Jay's not eating a pin at SummerSlam, so that's only gonna hurt the group even more if they were to lose. Now, if this is all a take angle for Seth, then bravo WWE, you got us. Which it could be, because the way he was so adamant and calm and okay with everything on the Rich Eisen show leads to believe that could be the case. But if it's not the case, he's missing probably the rest of the year, calendar year, I would say. Because they also kept mentioning that, again, it could go to your point, Ty. He technically doesn't have to cash in or give up the briefcase until X, Y, and Z. He has a full calendar year. So that's my biggest takeaway with that. Outside of that, man, I thought Raw was solid all around. I thought the EO and Valkyria match was really good. But you're always gonna have your interferences going on, and them telling that story. And I don't think she's winning that Clash in Paris. But we're gonna say that for another episode. Any other thing you want to touch on for Raw?
There's no way Naomi's about to first of all, if Naomi obviously she's gonna win the triple threat, but if she wins the triple threat, then beats Stephanie Valkyrie,
proceed with caution.
I'm gonna need this run to go on till WrestleMania. Because
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Because you're
If
not
it's
just
book,
gonna have her go
if
over.
it's booked properly, it has to be booked properly.
Yeah, but you
Because that's
can't
one
have
thing
her.
they don't know how to do is book the women's title champions properly.
You can't have her go over those three women in less than what, like 2 weeks from each other,
Shit.
and not book her like a top deal, bro. Like, nah. That's why I think Stephanie might win it. It is early, but I'm telling you, bro, Triple H rather any reason for him to not give Rhea Ripley another title run. So
For
he
now.
needs Stephanie Vaquer
She's
right
getting that belt sooner than later.
now. Rhea or Stephanie?
Rhea. She's gonna get a push sooner than later. It might not be on Raw, it might move her to SmackDown or something, but she's gonna get a push.
Yeah, she could go
Only a
take
matter
the
of
belt.
time.
She could go take the belt off of Jade, but I don't know about anything else.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because we're gonna. I almost forgot about that. We're gonna touch base really quickly, and we're gonna actually go into that now. The SummerSlam card for night 1 and 2. It's not official what matches on which night yet, but it's what we have for now. That's been announced. We have Cody Rhodes, John Cena for the Undisputed WWE Championship, which is now a street fight. We also have Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's WWE Championship. We also have the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, as we just mentioned, in a three-way match: Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Naomi. We then have a Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and Lara Valkyria, which people keep calling her Becky Hogan, but look, this title hasn't been more relevant since she got it. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
Bro, the title just existed.
Listen, that title has been useless until they put it on someone that
Bro,
matters.
these are the only two winners of this title.
That's my point. What have they done with Lara since she won that belt? Nothing. They
Yeah, but
put
don't you
Becky
think
in
this
the
is
feud.
to be quite honest, don't you think this is kind of backwards booking?
No, because
Because you
they
gave
just
her the belt, then you're like, something's missing. Then she's developing the character when she's chasing the belt. That's backwards booking.
I hear your point. However, the problem was during the time where they was doing the whole tournament, Becky wasn't around at the time. Cause I feel like if Becky was around, Becky would have won the belt. Cause we talked about it, like it should have been someone that was established, like a Bailey. Well, they had other plans for Bailey, so they gave it to a fresh face. I agree. I thought it should have been Dakota Kai if they was gonna put it on anyone, not Lyra. I think Lyra could have built up to that. To your point, and to my point, so two things could be true. They didn't really do nothing with her when she won the belt initially, so that she got stale really fast. Now, to your point, they're building up a character with her chasing the belt, which I think, and I mentioned it earlier, it's always best. The best way to build a babyface is have them being on the chase for something, on the cusp of something. And you see it now. This is the most interesting Lyra has been on the main roster since she's been there. And I believe she wins the belt at SummerSlam because I think they just talked about stipulation yesterday where she loses her as in Lyra Valkyria. She can never challenge for the IC title again, as long as Becky has it. So that tells me right there that she's gonna win, and this feud probably ends at SummerSlam, which is perfect because Becky done her job, which is elevate the title, elevate Lyra. What else more can you ask for? They haven't had a bad match since they've been feuding. They have not had a bad match. Lyra's winning. Absolutely. It's been arguments depending on what card. If you look at the card, they probably had some of the better matches on the card when they had been booked. And already, I've been saying that they need to book these mid card women's titles more on these big shows. You put the belt on Becky, it's already on. It's on the SummerSlam card. I promise you, if Lyra still had the belt, that would not have happened, unless they would have started the feud with Becky then, or at this point, which I don't think they would have. But that's kind of my spill on that. All in all. But then we have the Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And I will say Jelly Roll has been losing weight. He's been in the PC training ever since he moved down to Florida to train for this. So I expect it to be an entertaining match. But also, we talked about it last week. It's not the match we would be too high on. Then we have the women's tag match. We have Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Then you have Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and a steel cage match for the United States Championship. And we have the Intercontinental Championship defended between AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. And it looks like it's going to be rumored to have the tag match that we mentioned earlier with Roman and Jay and Braun and Bronson Reed. But with that match card so far, any thoughts on the card and some early predictions you might have? 'Cause we're going to go over the predictions once we get closer to SummerSlam. But what's something that anything like eye popping to you for that match card so far? Maria, how you doing?
Eye popping. I would low-key say the fact that they made the Cena Cody a street fight. Because now it's like
Telling you.
now you have that
What was this
being
one?
an
I'm sorry.
aspect. Now you have even a greater chance at this whole double turn people have been speculating about, where Cody goes heel, Cena goes face. Like, that's a perfect way to do it in a street fight, because if we're expecting Cody to go over, kind of got to do some heel tactics to go over in a street fight. So I think that's very eye popping. Kind of makes it less predictable in a sense, but not really, because I don't think Cena's winning. But if the final boss does come out, we'll see. Other than that, I would say, well, obviously, no Julia.
As of yet, which I think Julia should be on this card.
I don't think we're getting any of the men's tag titles defended,
which is stupid as hell.
Yeah,
we're definitely getting the
especially
SmackDown
now
title.
it's 2 nights, so I'm confused.
We might get the Judgment Day. We ain't getting the YS6, so we can forget about that.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't want to see them on SummerSlam anyway, to be honest.
Well, I feel like since LWO just won last night, I think they would have announced it if it was going to be on SummerSlam. I feel like that's more of a Raw before SummerSlam match, unfortunately. That's true. But yeah, just no tag titles. So to me, it's the same stuff. And we talked about this months ago. It's TKO hurting the product. This is a prime example. You're going to make something 2 nights where it didn't need to be 2 nights, and you're not even going to do it correctly. So,
yeah, I want to add on because one of the takeaways, and Fernando's actually staring me right to it. He doesn't think Cody's turning heel. I actually believe if he does turn heel, this will be the perfect time to do it. I think he's perfect as a babyface as of now, but I'm gonna play hypothetical game. If he does turn heel, and you do the role swap, there could be some hints like Cody's post. He had a post recently where he had the watch, I believe, on that The Rock gave him. He had the same kind of pose like The Rock in one of those pictures. That could be little small hints added potentially. Let's say Cody does turn heel, even as the black hair look, right? You can easily tell the story of Roman Rhodes 3 at Mania. It's right there. Cody's the ultimate heel now. I don't want it, but I'm saying I can foresee WWE doing something like this, right? Roman wins the Rumble in Saudi. Because you know damn well if Saudi's getting a Rumble, they're gonna want Roman on the card. Roman wins the Rumble in Saudi. He goes and gets what he rightfully wants, and that's his WWE Championship. Mania 43. Is it 43 or 42? I'm 42. I know it's in Vegas again. But Roman, Cody, 3. The Rock's involved because obviously Cody turned heel, so he's with The Rock now. And you can still tell that story with the Roman and the Rock that you've been itching to get at anyway. And you have the two biggest stars in your company going at it together for the biggest prize in the company. But this time, Cody's the heel, Roman's the face. And everyone loves Roman as a face right now. I can see them going that route. Now, would I want to see it? Nah, not really. I don't think we need a third match. Right now, at least, we don't. But then again, you don't know how long Roman's going to be doing this for. So, Fernando also mentioned only Mania should be 2 nights. I agree. If they try to do Royal Rumble as 2 nights, then I'm going to be like, time out. Let's just stop. But, TKO's the money grab. The weekend extravaganza for the fans and stuff like that, which is also a money grab if you're being honest. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest takeaway, eye-popping thing. Other than the steel cage match, I think is going to be really, really good between Jacob and Solo.
It's gonna be good, but we know Solo's retaining, and we know this is probably when everyone shows up. That's a part of this feud.
Potentially,
And
yeah.
that's the Tongans, that's everybody,
Tama Tonga comes back and costs Jacob the match, and that's how Solo wins.
But my thing with that, bro, how are we pulling Roman from this Seth thing?
They might not. They might
But
not.
who's gonna be in Jacob's corner?
Jimmy's in his corner right now.
That means you gotta debut a lot of these other Samoans, pretty much.
Go get his 2 brothers.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you have to
Which
do.
I don't know if I want that yet, but we'll see. But we're gonna wrap up the show right there. So if you've been watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the show, and let us know your thoughts on the SummerSlam card thus far. What's some matches you're excited to see that's been announced so far? Let us know your thoughts on Slammiversary. Do you give it 3 stars out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, even a 1? It's all up to you. It's your opinion. And what are some of your predictions for NXT tonight with their lineup and outline for the show? Hope you guys have a blessed rest of your evening. Stay safe. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.